Okay. This is still the same playthrough, and
All of
it's
his co-workers
actually
were
quite
gone.
frightening.
What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
I like this game now. I don't even know what's going on, and I like it. And it's extremely disconcerting. I wouldn't call it a horror game. Maybe an existential crisis game. Yeah, that's kind of what this is.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
I thought the idea of that last cutscene was that I should go back to the right.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
I feel like to get on with the right story, we need to do what we're doing with purpose. Eventually there won't be any other new routes.
The lounge was sublime, a work of art. What was it about this room that called so deeply and so personally to Stanley?
The fact
its
that
grace, its subtle charm.
the carpet.
No. Stanley knew it was something deeper, something darker.
What? It's probably the corduroy carpeting.
Yes, really worth it being here in the room. A room so utterly but eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Okay, we already know where the other way
And
goes.
so he detoured through the maintenance section, walked straight ahead to the opposite door, and got back on track.
Good. And this is all the same area. Good.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might
What's wrong
find
with
an
Franz?
answer there.
Ideas in development. Group 48X. Pre-review of weekly review. Don't tell 632 about my meeting. Oh dear God. Tomorrow, complete today's unfinished agenda items. Write next agendas and reflect. Yep. Get Chris out of the broom closet. Is my name Chris? I don't think so, but I suppose that explains that. The future was yesterday, tomorrow is now. That makes no bloody sense. I hate you, life in general. Including industrialism. Oh my God.
Oh no, no,
We'll love you,
not
broom
again. I
closet.
won't be part of this. I'm not going to encourage you. I'm not going to say anything at all. I'm just going to be patient and wait for you to finish whatever it is you enjoy doing so much in this room. Please take your time.
I'm sorry. The broom closet is the best part of this game, and I will never leave it alone.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
But we already did that, so we need to go down this time. Down and around and under the stairs. No, maybe there will be clues to the story over here.
But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss, admitting he had left his post during work hours. He might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished? His boss would think he was crazy. And then something occurred to Stanley.
What?
Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy.
What?
All of my co-workers blinking mysteriously out of existence in a single moment for no reason at all? None of it made any logical sense.
Oh.
And as Stanley pondered this, he began to make other strange observations. For example, why couldn't he see his feet when he looked down? Why did doors close automatically behind him wherever he went? And for that matter,
So
these rooms were starting to look pretty familiar.
we have paranoid
Were they simply
schizophrenia.
repeating? No, Stanley said to himself, this is all too strange. This can't be real. And at last, he came to the conclusion that had been on the tip of his tongue. He just hadn't found the words for it. I'm dreaming, he yelled.
No.
This is all a dream. Oh,
No, I'm completely insane.
Stanley felt to have finally found an answer.
Why would there ever be a car in this kind of a room?
His co-workers weren't actually gone. He wasn't going to lose his job. He wasn't crazy after all.
We're crazy.
He thought to himself, I suppose I'll wake up soon. I'll have to go back to my boring real-life job pushing buttons. I may as well enjoy this while I'm still lucid. So, he imagined himself flying and began to gently float above the ground. Then he imagined himself soaring through space on a magical starfield, and it too appeared.
Oh my God.
It was so much fun, and Stanley marveled that he had still not woken up. How was he remaining so lucid?
Yeah, I'm insane.
And then perhaps the strangest question of them all entered Stanley's head. One he was amazed he hadn't asked himself sooner. Why is there a voice in my head dictating everything that I'm doing and thinking? Now the voice was describing itself being considered by Stanley, who found it particularly strange. I'm dreaming about a voice describing me, thinking about how it's describing my thoughts, he thought. And while he thought it all very odd and wondered if this voice spoke to all people in their dreams, the truth was that, of course, this was not a dream. How could it be? Was Stanley simply deceiving himself?
Is this a movie?
Believing that if he's asleep, he doesn't have to take responsibility for himself? Stanley is as awake right now as he's ever been in his life. Now, hearing the voice speak these words was quite a shock to Stanley. After all, he knew for certain, beyond a doubt, that this was in fact a dream. Did the voice not see him float and make the magical stars just a moment ago?
Let's do it again.
How else would the voice explain all that? This voice was a part of himself too. Surely, if he could just... He would prove it. He would prove that he was in control, that this was a dream. So he closed his eyes gently, and he invited himself to wake up. He felt the cool weight of the blanket on his skin, the press of the mattress on his back.
No.
The fresh air of a world outside.
Nope, we're still going to be in that room.
Let me wake up, he thought to himself. I'm through with this dream.
This is quite silly.
I wish it to be over. Let me go back to my job. Let me continue pushing the buttons. Please, it's all I want. I want my apartment, and my wife, and my job. All I want is my life exactly the way it's always been.
Ah, poor Stanley.
My life is normal. I am normal.
There is no such thing as normal.
Everything will be fine. I am okay.
Nope.
Stanley began screaming. Please, someone, wake me up. My name is Stanley. I have a boss. I have an office. I am real. Please, just someone tell me I am real. I must be real. I must be. Can anyone hear my voice?
Oh, God.
Who am I? Who am
Oh, God.
I? And everything went black.
Oh, God. Oh, this isn't good.
This is the story of a woman named Mariella.
No, it's not.
Mariella woke up on a day like any other.
Really?
She arose, got dressed, gathered her belongings, and walked to her place of work. But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk.
Oh my God.
And although she would soon turn to go call for an ambulance, for just a few brief moments, she considered the strange man. He was obviously crazy. This much she knew. Everyone knows
I remember
what
that
crazy
suitcase.
people look like. And in that moment, she thought to herself how lucky she was to be normal. I am sane. I am in control of my mind. I know what is real and what isn't.
Then why are all the borders clipping?
It was comforting to think this, and in a certain way, seeing this man made her feel better.
Huh.
But then she remembered the meeting she had scheduled for that day. The very important people whose impressions of her would affect her career, and by extension, the rest of her
This
life.
narrator better have made
She
like
had no
30
time for
bucks
this.
on this job.
So it was only a moment that she stood there, staring down at the body. And then she turned and ran.
Truly, A sign of the end times. When you can't even accept the wonder of seeing a dead body in the middle of the street with no one else around.